everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're a return guest, thank you for coming back. If you're new, hi, I'm happy that you found me and I'm happy that you're here. Let's get into today's video. So it's going to be a little bit of a chit chat, get ready with me type of video. And if you're not familiar, that just looks like me putting on makeup and answering questions. If you're not into that, you can hop off. If you are into that, or if you just want to be supportive, you can stay here. With that being said, I went ahead and I found a little list here on Pinterest. It's got like 25 questions, probably won't do all of them. I'm just gonna go through, answer some of the questions so you guys can get to know me a hair better and just kind of have fun with it. I myself, I know I like watching these videos. They're very like comforting to me for some reason. So, alrighty, so let's go ahead and just get started. Thanks for being here, being patient, and being supportive. First things first, can't do makeup with hair all in our face, so I always am just gonna plop one of these bad guys and toss all that hair back. Sorry, I don't know what's happening with my layers here. So before we get into the first question, I'm going to start with my first product. So the first thing that I do when I'm putting on my makeup outside of showering and washing my face is using, well, a moisturizer, of course, but I use this e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer that I saw off of TikTok, so I bought it. I like to think that it works, so we're just gonna go ahead and use some of this stuff. So I just put it on the back of my finger and kind of just dab here and there over the spots. So the first question is, if you could live in a book, TV show, or movie, what would it be? And guys, that is just a great question. Oh my gosh, I don't even know. Like, I would obviously want it to be something fun, maybe somewhere warm. So I'm trying to think. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Okay, so actually my favorite movie, well, my second favorite movie that's not like a tragedy, so I love Titanic, but obviously would not want to live on the Titanic or in that movie. But my second favorite movie is 50 First Dates. And Trishelle, if you're watching this, hey girl. Trishelle loves to tell the horror story of how when we were growing up and she would stay the night at my house, I would make her watch 50 First Dates every single night before we went to bed. Fun fact. I guess if I had to pick a place, I would probably go with like that setting because they're in Hawaii, and I feel like I've always kind of wanted to go to Hawaii, don't we all? I guess my answer would be 50 First Dates. So the next product, now that I've got the primer rubbed into my face, I kind of let it sit for a little bit. I don't actually use foundation, I use a BB cream. Please don't look at my dirty nail. I just started using a BB cream because it's light. It is what it is. I don't look scary or as scary. So I just use this one. It's the Maybelline BB Fresh. It's like a hydrating beauty balm. And I just put that right here on my dirty beauty blender. So, but I just put it on the beauty blender and go to town. Yes, and just bounce that. This is wet. I did wet this before, so it's nice and squishy and soft, and yeah. Alrighty, the next question. If you had to choose to live without one of your five senses, what would it be? This is a really great one. So what, there's taste, touch, smell, hear. BRB Googling the five senses. Taste, touch, hear, smell, and see. Ha! There we go. So now that we have all those, let me think about it. I would obviously want to keep my sight because I'm a very visual person and everything that I do is very like much visual. So I would keep my sight. I guess like what? I feel like the worst, like the easiest one to lose. So I guess it would be between touch and smell. And I'm thinking like, oh, it'd be okay to like lose bad smells, but also like, what about the good ones? Like, you know? But touch, I mean, Like, I guess I'm gonna go with touch, because the only thing that I like enjoy touching is like soft blankets and stuff. Easy one to let go of. Like, comment down below which scents you would get rid of, because now I'm curious. Definitely not getting rid of like taste, because no. Definitely not getting rid of my sight, because I love seeing things, and like I said, everything I do is very visual. My hearing, that's super important, obviously. I don't know. I'm definitely gonna go with touch. That's my pick. I would live without touch. Okay, so now that I think is blended in, I'm not using a mirror. I'm literally just using my phone right now, so it looks okay. Now that we've completed step number 2, again, don't come for me for my products or how old they are. But this is another item that I saw on TikTok and bought not off of TikTok, but bought because of TikTok. And it's like the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. I like it. It works and it's cheap, so like your girl can really get down with that. Also, I don't think it's supposed to go like on your pimples or anything. Like, you're just supposed to, it's a brightening, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I actually really don't know. It says camo, so I'm gonna assume that means we're camouflaging everything. So, pimples who? Not me. Alrighty. So, again, after you get that all taken care of, Beauty Blender, back at it is what I do. And just get in there, and my ear itches. That was cute. So the next question. All right, this one's kind of deep, y'all, but it says, how would you define love? And I think that is a beautiful question. I think love in like any capacity, just not even with like romantic relationships, but like friendships and everything as well, and even with your family, is just being able to be yourself. On both ends. So like, you should be able to be yourself, they should be able to be themselves, and I think that's very much like what love is. And like, being comforting and caring to others, like, is super important. That's, yeah, it's like, obviously you're not gonna want to love somebody who doesn't like love you for who you are, and it's like very cliche, but obviously, you know, you shouldn't have to change who you are for people to love you. So yeah, I'm going with that. Love is just being yourself and being caring and compassionate all the time. All the time, no matter what the situation is. We love our friends and family and significant others, and we support them. Always. I was like, anyone taking me seriously as I do this to my face? Like, I can't even take myself seriously right now. Next question. How would your best friend describe you? Oh, baby. I love this one. I wish that she was here to do it herself, to be honest. Before I get into the answer to that question, the next step after I blend in all that concealer business, I just used some Airspun translucent powder to set my face. I watched a video once that said you should use translucent powder and not a powder with color. So if that's right, I'm killing it if it's wrong. So I go in on my under eyes first. Okay, so how would my best friend describe me? Well, considering my best friend, Trishelle. Hi, Trishelle. I already mentioned her in this video once, but we have actually been best friends since the 6th grade. I am, and she is now, we're both 23 years old. So we've been friends for like at least 10 years now. And I think that's like bonkers and super awesome. Anywho, I think she would describe me as fun and like a good balance for her. So she's very shy and like mostly kept to herself, which I'm not very like over the top outgoing either. But I very much like will stand up for myself and, you know, for the most part, try to not let people walk all over me, where I think she kind of is, you know, she's just a little scared of confrontation, which is fine. That's like a great way to be. But like me, I'm just a little fiery or feistier, I guess, than her. So I would think that she would describe me as a really good balance for her, I hope. She's probably like, I would describe you as a annoying young lady. We're very close and like we're awesome friends. Like I can't imagine her not ever being in my life. Like it's really weird to think about like what I would be like if she had never been around. Oh, she's super important to me. So I would hope that she would describe me as like a good friend and super important to her. I think that we were just very much like meant to be each other's best friends. I'm sorry, I'm getting makeup dust everywhere. But yeah, so I think that we were very much meant to be each other's best friends. Like I genuinely feel that way. So yeah. Next question, while I'm still powdering my big forehead. If you could speak another language, what would it be and why? I would definitely be speaking like French, because I think it is so cool. It's beautiful. It's very like, I don't know, classy, I guess. And like I'm from West Virginia, so like I don't actually know what class is. I would definitely speak French. Alrighty, I think I'm done powdering. It looks pretty good to me. So, oh, well, I still have powder in here, so let me just actually. Alrighty, so the next step that I usually do would be like my eyebrows, I think. For my eyebrows, I actually just fill them in with like eyeshadow, because I have, not to toot my own horn, but like I have decent eyebrows, like without having to use like a brow filler or like the pomade stuff or whatever. So I just take like a little spoolie brush, a little dirty spoolie brush, about like $3 at Ulta, and I just brush them so that they're like at least neat looking. And then I go in and I just fill in the bare spots with eyeshadow. So shout out to my dad for giving me the world's biggest, bushiest eyebrows. Okay, next question while we do the brows. What's the craziest thing that you've ever done? And my answer to that would be going to college, not knowing what I wanted to do with my life. And I didn't, obviously, realize that at the time. I just was going because I thought that, you know, I wanted to go to college. I was just going in doing what my friends were doing. So I have obviously since changed my major quite a few times, and I tacked on 2 extra years of school. So that's probably the craziest thing I've ever done because of student debt and the fact that like at some point I have to graduate and get out into the real world, and now I have to go to grad school. So wish that I would have thought it through a little bit better. And I still get very like, I'm still very insecure about the fact that like I did that to myself, in the way of like just changing my mind all the time. I have very like high anxiety. With that comes with being very indecisive about like literally everything. I give myself credit for not giving up. I very much could have just like dropped out of school and just like got a full-time job and not even worried about it. But I give myself credit because I never gave up, and I'm still going strong. We're on the home stretch here of undergrad. So I want to do a video explaining all of that as well, so that everybody kind of gets an idea of what I did, why I did it. As well as I want to give some like advice for people who might be going through that type of thing too, because I know that was really important for me. Every single time I changed my major was like not having the right advice. So I sit and I think all the time that by the time I'm like done and out of school, actually like completely done, licensed in my profession and everything, I could have been in school long enough to be a doctor. It'd be like a total of like 8 years. And to answer what the craziest thing I've ever done was going to college without knowing what I wanted to do and not handling it well. Not actually crazy, but like when I look at it, it's actually pretty crazy. I think my eyebrows are done. Honestly, it's really hard to like talk and do your makeup at the same time. Like the people that do this really like, that's a skill. Okay, the next thing is my eyelashes. So I like my eyebrows, have very nice eyelashes. Thank the Lord, because every time I try to put on fake eyelashes, your girl just can't figure it out. It's literally like rocket science to me for some reason, and I don't understand. So I just curl these bad boys and go to town with the mascara. While we're doing that, next question. So this question is, what animal best represents you and why? It's gonna sound really like corny and basic, but like I would definitely go with a dog because I'm very loyal to my family, my friends, all that jazz. Like, I'm super loyal, and I'm very protective of like the people that I love and I care about, which obviously like dogs are too. By the way, I'm using CoverGirl Professional 3-in-1 waterproof mascara. It's nothing crazy. It still makes me look like a raccoon by the end of the day, so that's fun. Probably because it's old, right? Probably. Anywho, so I would definitely be a dog. I also really like being cuddled, and I really like attention, but not really. Like, I do, but I don't, you know? I don't want to be the center of the attention, but like when I want attention from Kyle, like I really, you know, I want that. And so in that way, I am a dog. Speaking of dogs, I have one that needs let in. Uh-oh, here he comes, sniffing all my stuff. Say hello. Cross. Look. Looky. After my eyelashes dry, I like to give them another curly curl, just to give them a little more volume, a little more oomph. And while I do that, I'm gonna look up my next question. The classic, if you could only take 3 items to a desert island, what would they be? But before I answer that, my next step is a little bit of blush. Let's take a little blush brush, a little $3 e.l.f. blush, because your girl is on a budget. I really don't like a lot, to be honest. Like, I remember I put blush on one time and Kyle was like, is your face okay? He's like, it looks a little red. Because I don't know how to do it. So I just, do one of these little ditties. So yeah, there's that. So to answer the question, so I would take a box of snacks. Obviously, I would want to be able to eat. And those snacks would probably be things like beef jerky, so that I have like protein, peanut butter, more protein. I love me some peanut butter. There's no internet or electricity on a desert island, so I really wouldn't need to take like my phone or anything. Some blankets, so I could be comfortable at least. And a puzzle. I'd take a puzzle, you know? Depends how long I'm gonna be there. I have plenty of time to do a puzzle. Absolutely no excuse not to do a puzzle. Alrighty, and then the last step before I hop off of here and go fix my hair is just going to be some highlighter. Very standard. This highlighter has to be at least 3 years old. This is how often I do my makeup. I've literally only used 1 pan of this little thing. And it's not even all the way gone. But I got this at Marshall's, so that's like, it was probably already old when it got there. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Alright, and then obviously I'll fix my lips, but that's like after I finish everything else, like brush my teeth and stuff, because I haven't done that today, and I'm a dirtball. So I'm going to go fix my hair and brush my teeth, and I will be right back to wrap this video up. So that's going to wrap up today's video, guys. I hope that you are having a good time and enjoying it as much as I am. I obviously did not finish my hair because I decided I didn't care and I didn't feel like fixing it today. So we are going with an all natural moment. I want to thank you if you finished. It's really important to me and your support means a lot. But I think it's important for me to express that I really want to keep this channel open and I don't want it to be any one thing specific. So if I see something and I want to do it, I want to have the ability to just upload and do whatever I want. I'm getting more comfortable doing these and I really like that about this whole thing as well. I can just be me and I don't care because you're just watching it at home and you can't even actually make fun of me. With all of that being said, this is giving me a really great outlet for my creativity. and a really great way to de-stress and like distract myself from the regular stress of life. So thank you, and I hope so much that you come back for the next video. I'm not sure what it will be at this point. I'm just kind of trying things. I just hope that you're there and happy to see whatever it is I'm making. So thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.